everyone, welcome to Posturelab about awkward pose.
Hi guys, it's Masterlab here. It's Adam and Eva, and we'll talk about awkward pose today. So in these times of uncertainty, I think we're probably sitting in the chair more often now than we have in the past. I know myself, I finished the Game of Thrones, all 8 seasons, and I just watched it like this. But I was sitting in the chair a lot. And sitting in a chair for too much time is not good for you. There's been studies done by different institutions around the world that shows that there's an increased risk in heart disease. There's an increased risk in stroke, high blood pressure, high cholesterol, as well as diabetes with the amount of sitting that you do per day. It shortens your life. There's a prolonged studies that have shown that as you sit, you have an increased dementia. You gain weight, you're increasing anxiety, you develop a lot of back pain because you're really not using your core muscles, your strong legs and strong arms. You're just most of the time collapsing into the chair, being very relaxed, very loose. That's why it's so important, if you're going to sit in a chair, that you're learning to sit with the spine at a straight, actually using your heels into the ground and lifting your chest up, which is exactly the muscles that you're going to be developing in the posture itself, awkward pose. So once again, the reason that sitting in the chair is so bad, it stiffens the joints. You tighten up the hip flexors as well as the hamstrings. And this all leads to, in the future, decreased ability of balance. Your gait, how you walk is going to be severely affected. And this is why you see so many people walking with canes. You see many people using railings as they walk up and down the stairs. It's not only that their muscles are deteriorating, but their joints, the joints in the knees are weakening. So this entire posture is not only building muscle strength, but it's also stabilizing different joints in the body.
It's funny Adam mentioned Game of Thrones because that is basically like a throne that we've been using now a lot more. Generally, this is how people were sitting and doing things. There was a lot of squatting involved, and this is so much better for the hips, your ankles, strengthening knee joints, whereas that puts a lot of pressure. You don't even realize how much pressure, how much tightness we get from that chair. So this kind of squatting is really supernatural that we should be able to get into this posture a little bit more.
So if you're going to watch Game of Thrones the entire season, if you're going to do a Star Wars marathon, make sure that you pause and get up from sitting all the time. Make sure you're moving. Make sure you're moving a lot, especially these times.
Or
right?
watch it squatting.
Or watch it squatting. All right, so let's talk about the specifics of awkward. So there's 3 main parts of awkward. There's first part awkward, second part awkward, and third part awkward. Just like having pose, we talked about 2 things that are most important than anything. Breathing is number 1. So even when you're balancing on second part awkward, don't forget to breathe. Always breathe. And number 2 is find impeccable form. Breathing and form are always of paramount importance above all else that you do in this classroom. So first part awkward. We'll quickly show how it should look like, and then we'll talk about do's and don'ts with the awkward pose and the most common corrections that we have to give. So with awkward pose, you're bringing your 6 feet apart. That's the number 1 thing. You want to keep it hip distance apart. You don't want to let your toes come in. You don't want your toes to be out. Your heels are always behind your toes. So you bring your arms up parallel floor. You don't want to bring your arms up too high. You want to bring your arms down too low. You want to get parallel, shoulder distance apart, parallel to the shoulders. So as you suck your stomach in, you're going to sit down. You're going to put weight on your heels. And you lift your chest up. You make sure your heels don't sneak in, your heels don't sneak out. Your heels and toes are still exactly in one spot. And you sit all the way down to the chair. So your thighs are parallel floor. Now you have 2 things that I want you to think about in the entire time. In first part awkward, second part awkward, third part awkward. You want to be stretching your spine up as well as down. So from the tailbone, as you sit down, you're pushing your heels into the ground and you're stretching. You're pushing your tailbone down into the floor. You're stretching your lower spine. And as you lift your chest up, you're stretching your upper spine up. You're developing a little round in the curve. So as you push your hips down, as you lift your chest up, you're decompressing your lower spine. Change, come up. And whenever you feel shaking in your arms, shaking your legs, that's good. You're building strength. A dull, burning, aching sensation. So one of the most obvious corrections that we do. So you're trying to sit in the chair. If you can't sit all the way down in the chair first, lean forward and then bring your hips down. By doing that, you might find a little bit more opening up the hip joints. From this position, you want to lift your chest up. You're trying to create your chest that is leaning forward and chest, hip bones that is leaning back. That way, once again, you're kind of opening up your chest. You're keeping your chin up, chest up, so you're finding length along your spine.
Oh my gosh, that's a good workout for the legs. One thing we often see too is like here it all starts nice and pretty at the beginning of the posture, and then as soon as people start going down, heels go out, knees go in, because sometimes that might feel a little bit more comfortable. You might feel a little bit more stability. But guess what the name of the posture is? Remember? Awkward. So this might feel a little bit awkward. What you want is all the joints stacked one on top of the other. So rather than making it feel a little bit easier in the posture, really maintain the 6 inches gap between toes, knees, and hands so everything is nicely stacked. Sure, it's a little bit harder, but this is where you're gaining that strength, realigning the ankles, strengthening the ankles, the knees, and the joints.
And as you sit down, do it one more time.
Oh my gosh.
As you sit down, you're building your inner thigh muscle strength. We develop strong quads, but not only your quads have to be used, you have to learn to engage your inner thigh strength. By keeping your toes and heels exactly in one line, you can lift your toes off the floor just to see if it's maximum body width on the heels. You're pushing your heels on the floor. Now you're working on your inner thigh strength. That's fantastic. So after this awkward pose is done, then we're starting to balance on one leg. So first part, awkward, allows you to build balance, not only in the body, but balance in the mind. Learning to concentrate by keeping your feet together. Your feet in one line, 6 inches apart, just like Eva said, joints are stacked. You're using concentration, you're using determination, and you're building strength from your head to your toes. You're building strong legs, you're building a strong core, you're building strong arms, and you're still using your 2 legs. So as you develop more stability in your 2 legs, it'll be easier for you to build stability on the one leg. So don't take awkward pose for granted. Struggle in it more, and you'll reap the benefits, not only in this posture, but in the other postures as well as in life. So now let's talk about second part awkward. So second part awkward, it's practice. It's not yoga perfect, it's yoga practice. So the number one thing that you're trying to do is stand up on your toes maximum, as high as possible. So obviously your arms up parallel to the floor, and from here you're standing up on your toes as much as possible. You're locking your knees in this posture in the very start. You're lifting your quadriceps up. You're lifting your chest up. Imagine I'm pulling you up towards the ceiling, so meaning everything is lifting up. As you sit on your toes, focus on the big toes. Push your big toes down. Try not to lean forward, but lifting your chest up. Push your big toes on the floor and sit down until once again your hips are in the chair. Sit down, hold it there, come up behind your toes, come up behind your toes, come up behind your toes, good effort. So every day you're going to build a little bit more endurance, a little bit more strength. Shaking in the legs is normal, shaking with your arms is normal, shaking on your toes is normal. You're trying to increase the range in your Achilles tendon. You're trying to push your heels forward. You're developing strength in your quadriceps as well as in your mind. Don't forget to breathe. You're always breathing slowly, lifting your chest up, spine straight, thighs parallel floor. Change, come up. Fantastic. That's an effort. And it's not an easy posture, but it's allowing you to have fun. You follow the posture, get back in. Don't hold yourself back. You have nothing to lose. You have everything to gain with.
And especially this posture, if we talk about bodies, very often, some bodies are naturally more capable in some postures. This posture is definitely, and you're at an added advantage if you have a strong, solid body. If you're a little bit loosey-goosey like my body, long limbs, lots of joint opening, then it's so much harder to hold all of that. If your body is tight, so much easier to hold it because really there's not a lot of options for your body to go. So that's where a strong, stiff body, actually this posture is great. Whereas other postures, that'll be the reverse.
So we're going to talk about 2 things in awkward pose. So one is coming up on the top of the toes. If you don't come up on the top of the toes and your heels are down a little bit, arms up, body doesn't know where to distribute the body weight accordingly. Does it go to the toes? Does it go to the heel? Does it go to the toes? Does it go to the heels? So your body weight is some is going forward, some is going back, some is going forward, some is going back, and it's making your crush, and it's not good for your knees at all. So you want everything stacked. By coming up as high as you can on your toes.
You demonstrate this one. He's better because again, like I'm saying, stiff body, it's so much easier.
As you come up maximum on your toes, all of your body weight is going to be stacked from your shoulders, from your hips, from your heel, all the way down towards your toes. So you're just doing the best you can to come up on top of your toes as possible. So as you're doing it, you're focusing one spot. From here, you're standing up on your toes. You focus on pushing your big toes down. And as you sit down, see it's wobbly, it's normal. Because I'm focusing on trying to get as high as I can on my toes. So as you sit down, you're pushing your heels forward, you're pushing your heels forward, you're pushing your heels forward, and you're lifting your chest up. Pushing your heels forward and chest up.
The heels directly above. Everything is so straight. To get there, you saw him shaking, but then once he found... Okay, we keep going. I don't know if there was a little break there, but whatever.
And so for second part awkward, the other thing is some people from the side stand up on their toes, arms up, and sit down. Some of the students only go here. Go all the way down. Go all the way down for 3 seconds. 1, 2, 3. If you can't hold it for any longer, come out.
Or fall.
But that's how you build strength. That's how you build endurance, by going all the way down to where you feel discomfort and then holding it on for as long as you can. Go towards that discomfort. Don't be away, don't shy away from it. Alright? So those are the two, first part, second part, and now third part awkward. So first part and second part awkward is going to develop a lot of strength in the muscles as well as in your joints. But third part awkward still builds the muscle, but this one's primarily focused on taking care of your knees, healing your knees, strengthening your knees. If you have a lot of knee pain, this is actually a really, really important posture for you to focus on and giving it a little bit more effort. So in third part awkward, you want to come up a little bit on your toes. You want to bring your heels in just a little bit. So don't lay floor out. They come in just a little bit. And you're pressing your knees and thighs together. Not so much, but you're making sure it's under your control. And as you come down, your hips and head are touching the wall behind you. Once again, you're sticking your tailbone down. You're lifting your chest up. You're creating a natural human traction. So as you come down, you're pressing your knees together. You keep breathing. You sit all the way down and hold it there. It should never feel easy in third part awkward. You're lifting your chest up. You're creating a natural human traction in your spine. You're protecting your knees, building strength in your knees. And as you slowly come up, you're trying to not to lean forward. So one of the biggest things that we see in students when they're doing this posture, their actually knees are up and they're hunching forward. So the simple correction to do this is every action there's an equal and opposite reaction. The moment you bring your knees down and forward, automatically you're lifting your chest up and back. So one of the things that you want to also think about is how you come out. When you come out, you want to keep your knees together, take a deep breath, come up with your spine straight. Fantastic effort of it. That's what you want to do. You don't want to lean forward. You want to try to come up with the spine straight. Obviously, it's hard to do. But every day you try for 1 second, spine straight as you come up. Then next week, try for 2 seconds. Every day, add incrementally that second, how you go in slower and how you come out slower. Always building upon what you did last week.
My legs are feeling it. So in this class, you know we don't have any weights, any machines, any props. You're using your own body weight resistance to create more strength in the body. With your knees squeezing tight like this, what's going to build? Leg strength. You're using the core. You're using the arm. You're creating so much strength by engaging the muscles you already have. It's awesome.
So next time you're in this chair, you're driving, eating, using the computer, you have the muscle strength, you have the fluidity, you have the stability in your joints to hold yourself up so you're not ever collapsing into the chair. You're using the chair for comfort. You're using the chair to help release some of the pressure, not taking all the pressure. So as you develop a stronger core, as you develop stronger legs, stronger arms, you're able to sit in the chair with your spine more straight. And spine that is straight only adds health and vitality overall into your well-being. So the last thing we'll talk about in awkward pose is just the energetics of awkward pose. So first part awkward really talks about or really focuses on anger. Anger are held in your thighs. So as you sit down, you're burning the anger weight. Your thighs are getting stronger, but you're feeling better. You're releasing all that stress, all that anger, all that fear in your legs. So as you come up, that's the number one thing that you're burning away. Second part, awkward, you're learning to have fun. You're increasing the creativity in your life by playing maximum on your toes, just like when you were a child, standing on your toes, having fun. So it doesn't matter if you fall out of the posture. What you're trying to do is have fun, do the best you can, and be completely happy with the honest effort that you give, never holding yourself back. And then the last part, energetically, third part, awkward, you're bringing your knees together and you're releasing sensations or emotions of guilt, owning your emotions, becoming aware of yourself, discovering, experimenting with your body, your mind, as well as your spirit, just having fun, being aware, taking care of your body from head to toe.
Good work. That was a good one. Excellent strengthening in the legs, excellent arm strengthening. All of these postures are super beginner postures. Just takes a little bit of effort to gain that strength and that mobility back into the body that our body so desperately craves. We'll see you again next time.
The last thing we'll do is just talk about, since we talked about a little bit of pain in half moon pose and awkward pose, so we'll just talk a little bit of pain. So pain in the classroom is good. But you want to feel the dull, burning, aching pain. That's a good sensation. That pain will be transformational. It'll help you grow, it'll help you become stronger, it'll help you develop more flexibility. But it's an intelligent pain. We're all smart. We know the difference between a sharp, stabbing, shooting pain. If you feel that pain, something is not right. Back off. The sharp, stabbing, shooting pain, you don't want to experience that ever. But the dull, burning, aching pain that you can breathe through it, that you know deep down it's just discomfort, that you can hold on through it, that's the pain that's going to challenge you. That's the pain that's going to revolutionize your life by transforming yourselves. So that's it for today. See you guys soon. Take care. Be safe.
Bye.